Hey there! I'm so glad you made it back for episode 2 of this village upgrade series here on the Meerkats from Mars SMP server. I must have done something right in my last episode for you to come back, and if this is your first time here on the channel, welcome! And what a great time to start, because we got a lot to do in this episode. I have a feeling I'm going to say that in the beginning of every episode this series, but it doesn't make it any less true. At the end of the last video, I was ready to get started with building and recording for episode 2, but alas, COVID struck me down and knocked me down hard. Now that I'm feeling somewhat better, we suddenly have 5 months to complete this series, which means we need to work twice as fast for a while, so let's put all jokes aside and get right into it. Ooh, zombie spawner. Ooh, ocean monument. Really nearby. I'm serious. We have a lot to do this episode, so we can't delay. First thing we need to do is get ourselves a proper wool farm going so that we can have enough wool to lay out the temporary pathways and set up borders for our walls and outline our villager buildings in the upcoming episodes. Then we need to round up these villagers to keep them safe. Because you can't have a village without villagers. I'm looking at you and your smelly cave dinghy. Right now, while we work on our wool farm, I'm going to keep my villagers safe by sleeping before the sun fully sets. That way, it'll never get dark enough on the surface for hostile mobs to spawn. Which will also keep us safe as well. So I'll need to make sure that I keep my bed nearby until we set up a proper safe house for the villagers. When we're done with the wool farm and securing our villagers, we'll need to go out and explore to find the new mangrove biomes. Yes, this server is now running on the new 1.19 update already. I think I want to farm up some mangroves and maybe mangrove roots and incorporate them into our build today. Let me tell you, everything on the server gets updated when you're out with COVID. Thank you, Mayor Zoe, for all that you do on the server. Now, how did I lose a sheep? Where did it go? Oh, there you are. Come back here, you. I need you for our wool farm. I wish I had some leads so that I can just wrangle up the sheep without the cows. I think I'll just put them in this pre-generated pig pen here for now. I'm bringing the party to you, Mr. Pig. I hope you don't mind. Oh, we lost a cow. There goes my first viewer again. Wait, don't go yet. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Okay, first thing we need to do for this wool farm is we need to clear up some space. I don't know how much room exactly, but we probably don't need too much. We're just gonna have 4 sheep, all of different colors, producing wool for us. There we go. Next, we need to build our storage system. This might be a little more complicated than it needs to be, so listen close if you want to see how I do this. I place a double chest on the ground. And that's it. Hopefully you are able to follow along. Next, we need a collection system. There we go. Perfect. It's just a bunch of power rails over a hopper. In addition, I'm going to set up a comparator to stop the hopper minecart to give it time to empty into the hopper when the hopper minecart is full. Hold on. I think I need to swap this upside down stair into a full block. Okay, there it goes. Look at it go. Now we're going to have to fix the storage system a little bit. No big deal. Now I want to test to make sure that the hopper minecart stops when it's carrying items. So I threw some dirt down, and it looks like it stopped. That's perfect. Okay, it's unloading the dirt into the storage system, and once it's done, it just goes back running nonstop until it picks up whatever it finds. Now we just need to build up the third part of this farm, utilizing observers and dispensers. In order for a sheep to regrow its wool, it needs to eat grass. Using observers can detect the change from a grass block into a dirt block, and whenever the observer sees that change, it sends out a redstone signal into a dispenser next to the sheep. The dispenser will be loaded with shears so that when it gets the redstone signal from the observer, it will automatically shear the sheep for us. The wool will fall onto the ground where the hopper minecart will pick it up and empty into the storage chest. Maybe we can expand the storage when we have time, but I'm happy with the way it is for now, because it doesn't need to be complicated at all. We're just collecting wool. And yes, it really is that simple. Now we just build up our container cells for our sheep, put our sheep in, 1 sheep, 2 sheep. Oh man, who knew counting sheep would make me so sleepy? 3 sheep. Oh man, I'm getting tired. And 4 sheep. There we go. We're all done. Now let's cover this up with some, I guess, dirt block, just to make sure we don't get any zombies or skeleton boys falling in there by accident. And then whenever they're hungry, they'll eat the grass, regrow their wool, and then get sheared right away. Then we just cover the bottom half with some dirt, and then we're done with this automatic wool farm. That was easy. Now that we have our wool farm all done, I just want to stand here and wait until one of our sheep gets their wool back, only to immediately get it sheared, and there it goes. It really can't get easier than that. Let's take a look at our collection chest. So it's definitely working, and we got a small collection of wool already. Not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. Eventually, we'll get enough wool to lay out our village. While the wool farm is running on autopilot, it's time for us to run around and wrangle up those villagers. I said it before, and I'll say it again. In order to have a village, you're gonna need some villagers. And when you got Minecraft villagers, you have to keep them safe, or else they'll just go off and get themselves killed. Unless you got my villagers. What is going on here? How did you all manage to get yourself stuck in here? I guess they all wandered in and couldn't get themselves out. Yeah, let's cover you guys up so you don't accidentally get struck by lightning or get attacked by zombies. I got dirt blocks on me, so that'll have to do for now. You should be all set. Now, how do I get out of this thing? All right, here's a gate. No, okay, no! How did you get out? How did you get out? Go back in there. Let me open the gate. Push you back in. Push, push, push. Get back in there. Get back. No! No! 2. Not again. 2 escaped. Oh, no. Oh, there you are. Oh, he's inside. Let's close him up. Let's lock him inside. And you, hey, where are you going? Where are you going? You want to come back into the fence? Huh? It's pretty nice up here. Oh, you do want to come up. All right, let me help you out here. Let's put a block down. Come up here. And maybe we can dig this out under you. All right, but no! Okay, man. You're supposed to go inside. All right, here. Fall in there. Thank you! And that's how it's done. All right, now we got our villagers safe and secure once again. We're all set to go out and find some mangroves. Once we get our mangroves and mangrove roots, we can start building our dock. So let's go! 4,000 blocks later, we finally found a mangrove swamp. This is my first encounter with anything 1.19, so it's all new to me. I'm not even sure how to farm these trees. I think the trees grow mangrove propagules? So unlike other Minecraft trees and dropping saplings when you cut them down, you kind of have to collect the propagules that are growing in the leaves. Yeah, like that one right there. You see that? And there's another one. Now, I think they need time to mature before you can just go plant them in the ground. So you can't just go collect them and then replant willy-nilly. I'm not entirely sure, though. I think I'm going to chop down a whole bunch of trees, dig up some mud, and figure that Minecraft mechanic out later. Because we got a lot of building to do today. So let's get to it. I'll see you later. that quick time lapse, I got 3 shulker boxes worth of stuff from the mangrove biome that I think will help us get started on the build today. I got a shulker box full of mud that we can convert to mud bricks if we want. Some extra mud and some mangrove roots and other random stuff. And a few stacks of mangrove logs that I think can just help us get started. I didn't want to go overboard with removing the entire biome, and if we need more wood, we can always come back or use our propagules if we really need to. But right now, we really need to get back into building the first part of our village, the dock. So I'm going to gather up my stuff and meet you back at the base. The village. Yeah, see you there. Finally made it back, and we can start on the main build for this episode. First, let me tell you that this isn't going to be some basic 3-block wide dock made out of wood planks or slabs. Well, okay, the majority of the dock will be made up of wood planks and slabs, but it's going to be far from basic. So what do I have in mind? A 5-block wide dock? No. 7? Let's go nuts with this. Let's go with a 9-block wide pier with multiple docking points for ships of all sizes. Little boats, big boats, boats with chests in them. Are you starting to get the picture in your mind here? We need to go big because this is the main build for our episode, and we can't dedicate an entire episode to a janky 3-block wide dock for little boats. So, we got the size in mind. How about the style of this build? Well, my inspiration for this village upgrade competition comes from Game of Thrones. Now, before you say anything, just hear me out. Game of Thrones was a huge cultural phenomenon even before the HBO series came around. Now, I'll be the first to admit that I never read the books, and my inspiration comes from the show entirely. To be more specific, seasons 1 through 4. Maybe season 5, but definitely not after season 5. Now, I can go on about the show and how disappointed I was with the later seasons, but if I do, I'll never get this build done. So I'll stop myself right there and just say the theme of this village upgrade will be medieval, drawing a little inspiration from Game of Thrones. We'll just leave it at that. So this might take longer than expected, but I will get this done for this episode. I may have to keep the details simple for now because I've already lost a week through being sick. I do want to get as much detail in this build as possible, so we'll see what I can fit in this time lapse and still get this video out in time. And with that, let's go. say 9 block wide pier. I changed my mind and went with 15 for the main section, 9 wide for the lower dock, and 3 wide for the small docking platform. Now that you have a better idea of the scale we're going for, can you see why an end of the year deadline is cutting it really close? I definitely need to get my hands on a Swift Sneak 3 enchantment from the Deep Dark City. It would really help speed things up when I'm crouching and placing blocks. I probably should have gotten that before starting this project, but better late than never. Let's get that in the next episode for sure. I have a feeling the pier that we just built is going to be the quickest, easiest, and most straightforward build of this village upgrade, and I've already lost count on the number of hours put into planning, resource gathering, and building this part of the upgrade. Not only do we have the main docking platform, I also added 2 buildings on each side of the pier. Now these aren't residential buildings. The villagers that work out of these buildings keep order and structure on the shipyard, scheduling of ships, and track of incoming and outgoing goods. You think any old ship can just float on up and dock on this pier whenever they feel like it? No way! We have our shipyard master to control and review everything that comes in and out of these docks. It's a really important job. Just because our theme is medieval doesn't mean it's complete chaos and disorder. What do you think this is? Some village in a deep dark cave somewhere? You had to fight off mobs in a dark cave? Nobody saw that coming. To make this more personalized, we need a name for the shipyard. I want to hear your ideas and post your suggestions in the comments below. I was thinking Portcullis? Maybe? What do you think? Let me know. We'll definitely be building a portcullis in the next episode, so maybe that's why it's on my mind. But yeah, after finishing this pier, I want to build not just one ship, but an entire fleet of ships. Now that would be something, but only if we have time at the end of this project. We need to focus on the task at hand here. Now let me walk through this area real quick so you get a better view of what's going on here. We have the dock with all the shipments of goods coming in and goods going out. You can ask the shipyard master for details if you're interested. Then we got this pallet of redstone ore that I had in the replay. I really like this one with these villagers pulling the entire pile of redstone ore. Then I thought it would be funny if I added this little guy up here trying to help, but he doesn't realize he's making it harder for the other 3 pulling his added weight. The whole thing just adds life and story to the pier. And that's the best part. We can create any story we want on Minecraft, and it's only limited to your imagination. Like this scene right here, for example, that I added after the time-lapse. I added a couple of guys just sitting here on this wagon. I tried to convey the guy on the right being boisterous and chatty, while the guy sitting next to him is just grown tired of his traveling companion and he's stuck in a situation he just can't get out of. And I put some sweetberry bushes underneath these carpets so this horse stays in place without any leads or the use of glass panes. Then I got a few more custom armor stands along this dock that I added after the time-lapse, but I wanted to show you what's going on under the pier for a minute. As you probably saw, I didn't fill in the space underneath the dock because I thought that this space could be used for farms in the future. I could do gunpowder, sugarcane, a pumpkin and melon farm, everything that's kind of useless for our village upgrade. I'm pretty sure I won't be able to fit a tree farm or a deep slate farm under here unless I start digging down. And again, we don't really have time for that. Now, before we wrap up this episode, there's one last thing I want to talk about. It's about these patches of moss carpet all around the area. You may have noticed it throughout the episode, and it turns out our neighbor Dingy has been busy sneaking in skylight to light up his cave. Dingy, you can't claim to have a village in a deep dark cave and use sunlight to mob-proof the entire area. That's cheating. You might as well build up a village on a surface in a bamboo forest or something. So instead of getting worked up about this whole thing, I went ahead and replaced every moss carpet that I saw with moss block. He really wanted that cave, so let's give him a real cave experience by allowing him to light up his cave the proper way. Torch spamming. I've been running around this place for about 30 minutes looking for these spruce trapdoors and moss carpet, but I think I found them all. Anyway, that'll do it for me this episode. Thanks for sticking around to the end of this video. I hope you had a good time. Next episode, we'll get that Swift Sneak enchantment and start building up the border walls that even the men of the Night's Watch at Castle Black could envy. Well, probably not. The walls I have in mind aren't as tall, not made of ice, and doesn't have an elevator. They're more... I don't know how to describe it. You'll just have to watch the next episode to find out. My name is Edie, and I'll see you next time.